Hello, everyone. I'll be talking about code switching in the UAE. We actually celebrate creativity in typography over looking the potential creativity in handwriting. What is handwriting? Handwriting can be seen as a movement between two stops, as well as a stop between two movements. It's pretty much like a pendulum. It evolves in one direction, decelerates to speed 0, and then goes in the next direction. And these movements can be very flat sometimes, more curvilinear here, and sometimes longer, sometimes shorter. So if you want to look at handwriting, it's pretty much like intensive micro decisions, intuitive, that every person takes. And with all these, it makes every handwriting very special. And it doesn't matter which scripts you're writing. All the letters that you see here are from my dad's collection, late dad. He has like 15 years of letters. And when you zoom in, you discover a lot of things, like how the paper absorbs the inks, which indicates the speed of the writing, the crosses, you see the angle of stress, the slant. And one of the letters, very dear one of many letters that I received from my dad, I was zooming in and zooming more. He was greeting me in Arabic, dear Antoine, as he calls me, Antoine. But I was looking at this pen and the ink, it looks like fingerprints. So if you see here, more zoom in, and it's pretty much like fingerprints. So I see these letters as the fingerprints of my dad. So what is handwriting? It's a commonness of a system of writing plus a uniqueness of intuition. And so common, unique, it communicates. So I'm dividing opposing the system of writing to the intuition of writing on the one axis, and the other between exploration and the outcome. And so the system and the outcome is pretty much common, and the other one is unique. And on the other quadrants, you have the innovation and the expression. And it's not only limited to handwriting, it can be typography. So it really depends on the designer or the writer to see what he wants or she wants to communicate. So exploration and intuition is pretty much in handwriting, opposed to the typography for reading, not reading. And calligraphy, and the expressive part is typography for viewing. When I simplify typography, I see like typography made for books is like water. No one wants to drink a tasty water. No, you don't want to drink salty or sweet water. The other side, typography for viewing, which is more like display, I assume you don't want to taste the tasteless juice. So we're going to talk about the juicy typography. You see it, like it's pretty much the biscriptual is anything in Latin and what is paired with it. And the Arab word is not an exception. So when I got back from Japan, I lived 7 years in Japan, by the way. I was seeing all this academic exercise of comparing or pairing scripts, but I didn't want to start with the Latin. So I started with Japanese. I had my books. I gave my books to my students, and I asked them to pick logos. And then from these logos, I asked them to deconstruct them completely, and then reconstruct them for Latin and Arabic, and not for branding, but to depict the way we speak. I'm going to talk, you don't need to understand, just listen. So we're going with one direction, French or English, and coming back with the Arabic. And this is another example. Shikile, please, الكهرباء وراكي, please. So this is how we speak in Lebanon, just mixing 2 or 3 languages. And I have tons of examples, just a few of them. بدي فوت على التواليت أعمل بيبي. I need to go to the toilet to whatever. So there is the same logo and 2 different applications. You see that it's not really, the application is not really unique. So it's actually unique, it's not one. You could see here one direction and the other, the asymmetrical balance, which pretty much looks like a boustrophédon, except that the letters actually are not flipped. We're going with one direction and coming back with the other. And it's not about getting one ascender in Latin and applying it to Arabic. It's pretty much looking a little bit more challenging to the Japanese logos, or in this case, Chinese, and try to get the spirit of it. So these are some bilingual. في كاميون غيران بطريق بتونيل طريق المطار. اجا الستان. It's really phonetic. I wish I can have time to translate. I have 600 slides. Okay, Japanese and Arabic here. That's the bilingual, biscriptual. Another example. So it's pretty much like doing the same ingredients for different dish, or doing the same material for different architecture, which I baptized Lego. So Lego, that's a Japanese logo, and then deconstructed into parts. Of course, it's simple here, but we need to be loyal to the original spirit. That's another application, Arabic, either French or English. And this is the logo you saw before, but with another student, so different application. And some students are from Armenian origin, so they challenge themselves with Armenian. There is a Japanese logo adaptation to French, Arabic, but also to Devanagari. I was teaching in IIT Bombay for 2 years. And there is another Devanagari passage with Japanese logo, and then Devanagari, again Devanagari. This is Malayalam, I guess. I hope I'm not saying nonsense. Also Malayalam. So the whole thing is to find the relation between black and white and being loyal to the logo. I have no clue where is this. And this one is Tamil, and this is Tamil. Pause. So let's remove everything that we don't need here, and going back to calligraphy. Backward, my last years of PhD, there was one calligrapher who marked the way I see calligraphy, Koichi Honda. It was back in the old days where we could only photocopy black and white A4, and we used to read our notes. So it's not really academic. So I borrowed them from one person, sent me by post, I photocopied, etc. But there is one word that marked me in all these writing. Fuad or Koichi Honda was a traditionalist. So traditionalist in a sense where calligraphy is a destination for him. So he was elevating one person from a level 1 of calligraphy to another level, or from handwriting to calligraphy. But in that same year, or same period, he gave me this, I value it a lot. I met another calligrapher, Lebanese. He's really one of my idols now, Samir Sayed. And he told me, as a designer, you will not be a calligrapher. So calligraphy is a pit stop, is a doorway, is a springboard. So you move from typography level 1 through calligraphy to another typography level. And the calligraphy is not visible. It's like so above, as above, so below. You don't see the roots, you only see the tree. Where do I stand? I had these two works in my home in Beirut. Fast forward, I asked the students to take calligraphy, Arabic calligraphies, Japanese logos, creating the Arabic letters, and then reinterpret calligraphy. So that's what you see a lot, Japanese logos, creating of letters, Arabic calligraphy with all the rhythm. It's not copying, it's reconstructing. If you see, if the relations between black and white, so the white is very different from the upper one. So the two different interpretations from two different logos to the same origin. And of course, there is the calligraphy, the bone structure of the calligraphy that you cannot see, and the flesh came from the Japanese logos. So that is the logo here. Adaptation, the spirit of calligraphy with the flesh of typography. These are some examples. So we are constructing Arabic, but with the ingredients that we have. So, and of course, if this is messed up, then the result is messed up. This is one condition. And so, yeah, and these are more examples. Until we had around 70 works, and we were very happy with that. My friend and I were teaching, and then created the visual synonyms. We showed in EFL, Institut Français du Liban, which is in Beirut. and then in EFL in the north of Lebanon, EFL in the south of Lebanon, and Typo Day in India and Mumbai. But the big event was when we were selected by Korea Foundation Gallery. So we went there, and among the 22 ambassadors, there was a Lebanese ambassador. He told me, why you're putting the captions too low? And I told him I want the Koreans to bow out of respect to the work of my students. So I made them low. I love Korea, by the way. 15 years later, Samir Sayir, I was sharing Typo Day Amman, which was supposed to be in Beirut. And then I showed him what we were doing. We published the book, and he was very happy, but I was much, much happier. Then it was literally a few days before COVID. Then came COVID. So we had to stay at home. The only problem is we didn't have home anymore. So select all, delete, force quit, escape, and restart. This is where I left to Dubai, and then some of my Japanese books there. And then I was thinking what to do, and I thought about silence. Silence or emptiness, actually, which is pretty much the same. And I thought about ma. The ma is the period between, outside and inside. It's the interval. What is ma in Arabic typography? So it's a void to avoid in Arabic typography. It's like, it's not exactly empty, not exactly full. It's connection. It's elongated glyph. It's a rope. It's a ribbon. It's birds, flies, Superman. No, it's kashida actually. So. And this kashida exists, and it attached most of the Arabic letters together. Just put the space instead of the kashida. And the beauty of it is it could be stretched unequally. And as the work of Hassan Masoudi here. So I was inspired by him, and I asked my student to do the same with the Arabic and the French. So they created portraits, and instead of having white space, empty space, they have having stretching the kashida. Can I get 2 more minutes? Okay. No, over 20. 2 over 20, not now. So there are more examples. If you could see here, Bayda, Hashura, Naim, and then Blanche, Indépendante, Sincère. But you see this kashida exists somewhere else. This is the handwriting of my father in Syriac. So it's also a connective letter style. And it's also definitely, I don't want to call it kashida, it's cursive. And they are also from the letters from my dad, Félicitations. And so if you compare the letters being Arabic or French, you could rarely see on the old time non-cursive handwriting. Like you see here, transmettre, Ioannis is not here. They written with E instead of A. Maybe I will send him for the next presentation. So complètement here, it's one word. But the difference is, like, again, as I said, the kashida can be stretched. And you see this glyph is longer than the whole letters all together. It's pretty much like a Roman balance, or the ikebana in Japanese culture. Asymmetrical, not symmetrical. So when I went to Moscow and then we tried it with Cyrillic, why not? And then adding to all that, the Fibonacci sequence. So all the letters are on Fibonacci sequence and connected with the kashida. And it's Russian. I don't know what they wrote, but probably good things. But also we can write with them to connect different writing systems, like French and English here. French and Arabic, students from the Lebanese University. Let's go back into something more tangible. So coming back to calligraphy, that is the Japanese logo. This is the adaptation. The same student take another work and a different adaptation. You could see the unequalness, the aesthetic. So once they master these exercises in calligraphy or in typographic calligraphy, and they try it in Arabic, and then try it in these are from the UAE. Try it in bilingual, like بسوي drop, I'm done, خلاص, بشرب coffee, خلاص, I'm done. So it's really expressions that they use every day. We're not exaggerating anything. And whenever they want, they just can play with the kashida. Another logo, another adaptation, and this kashida here used for balance. And also you see the ascender going up, which I'll talk about in a while. So that's the logo they saw before. It's not about tracing, it's about reconstructing. So thinking like the Japanese designer. And here the adaptation to calligraphy and also the Kashida stretched for the balance. This is the same logo, but a different student. So if I remove all the letters, you see that the Kashida forms a kind of base to the letters. There is a third student working with isometry, Psawi cheesecake, another isometry. And here they have the choice to make it pseudo-symmetric or asymmetrical, also the Kashida. So that is Japanese, the adaptation, and the only thing odd or strange is the Kashida in between, again, like the Ikebana. So you could see here the physical Kashida, it can put everything inside of it. It's so, and the beauty of it is it's still readable, no problem of readability. So أحتاج my phone, I need my phone. And so that's the Japanese logo, the reconstructed logo, and then the adaptation to Arabic, trying a little bit the Arabic. And by being loyal, of course, to the Japanese black and white and ascenders, and translating into bilingualism. But again, you know, it's not one way. It's like an Ouroboros, you know, it's going on. So they test with the Latin, they go back to the Arabic, and this is the Arabic, the same person trying with different colors, and this is the final work. It's very musical. It's the rhythm. It's like black, white, black, white, black, black, white, black, white, black. It's like music, you know. So there is a rhythm in calligraphy, which you could see here also. I think this is more beautiful than the calligraphic original. So there is a Japanese logo, deconstruction, the adaptation, change of colors. You could see the interplay of ascenders in Arabic. And the alignment of ascender in calligraphy is very common. But you might tell me, we have also this in typography. It is true. So the addition for this in calligraphy is the box. So usually in Thulus, they put the calligraphy in boxes. So we thought about the boxes and you know, the ascenders going up to the last level here. So you could see there is 1 line, 2, 3 line, and the ascender of the first line going to the top to create this box. It's pretty much like a Roman temple. So the pillars, they form, the ascenders form the pillars. Don't read. This is bilingual. That's from my book. So the bilingualism here, so students started forming the same thing, and everything is aligned. And again, so passing calligraphy, typography, handwriting, calligraphy, typography, handwriting, not in this order, in the sense where one would feed the other. So, oh my God, ليش? Anyways, تصير البيت, professor يستوي, نص ساعة على رون بوان وبعدنا أجوا كونفوار الوزير. So there is one adaptation. A second one, you already saw this logo with the Lebanese students. This is in the UAE. There is some interpretation, and أنا white cool. So I'm very cool. So أحس بسافر. There's so many, but it is not either or. You know, it can be, for example, the ascender with the Kashida, which forms a grid. And 2 minutes. I have more. It's the symmetry, the normal symmetry that you see. The same work interpret differently, but then the application of the symmetry between the French and Arabic, في فلتاني. The symmetry and ascenders. So there is this lam, we talked about it a lot, lamed, I think it's in Hebrew, and comes with the Phoenician. There is parallel between the lam and the L, which you see the symmetry between the both, all the symmetry of ascenders, أحتاج Red Bull, she needs Red Bull. And this symmetry, you know, it can be between ascenders, between ascender and descender. It can be axial, horizontal, vertical. So you see it's here, it's here. It's here and there, and, different options between ascender and descender, Arabic and Latin. The next one is the alternative letter forms. Okay, so usually in Arabic, in the middle you have this shape, but for aesthetical reason they put the final shape instead of the medial shape, and it's very common in Thulus, and you have a lot of examples in this. So when you adapt it here, you can see the 3 variations: one in the medial and the other final and standalone. And if you see here, you compare, the upper one is very typographic in a normal sense, and the other one is inspired by calligraphy. So here is the inspiration, the loops, which shouldn't be actually a loop, and the adaptation to typography. And this is the comparison between the two. A tale of 2 ascenders. So these days, you could see it, adaptation. And then coming back to the handwriting, which is not a handwriting, it's in Johannesburg. I took the pictures. And these are the letters that possibly have loops. So in these letters, and then Jihan, here, you have the loops between the J and the Jim, Khalid Jesuit, George, this symmetry between the loops. So from descenders to ascenders, you go from the upper one to the lower one. So there is also Nabil Khouri, the stems to loops. So transforming the stems is also, the loops are very common in handwriting. So you could see the two versions, das benzene, one with the stem and the other one with the loop, and the loop of the Z, which is not very common in typography, but you can see it here in handwriting. Okay, the F with the two loops. Again, asymmetrical balance. So it's not very common in usual typography, but you could see the Kashida, it brings fresh of air that I need. Modularity is the last part that I will talk about. It's the modules. So it's the modules that come from Japanese calligraphy, so typography. So you see here, they divided the modules, applied them to Arabic calligraphy or to bilingualism. No time for that. The model, the reconstruction, and you could see here the red parts are repeated and the ascenders are aligned, like the Roman temple, and applied to Arabic, applied to English, applied to bilingual. And there is another student with another calligraphy, and bringing her to here, to the bilingualism. I think, yeah, I'm going to go fast because there is one more thing that I want to talk about. So there is a reconstruction, and it's a long process. It's really a long process where it's little by little like fixing teeth. And then they adapt to Arabic, and then to English, and then to bilingual. حد يكلمني عن stress and the wide submission. And this is the parallel between Japanese and, so Arabic looks like Arabic, English like English, Japanese like English, but like Japanese, but all the same ingredients. And sometimes, you know, like passing through the bilingual script will make a better typography. Isometry, it's not that worth. Johnny traded his records for cassettes, then traded his cassettes for CDs, then traded his CDs for MP3. When his apartment flooded, his computer crashed, and his old collection were ruined. He decided the only thing left to do was sing, play guitar, and make some music. If you were bothered by the mistakes, it's my intention. So yes, that is what makes sense against what senses make. I'll skip this one. So, and when I took my students to Japan, to Hanaka Sensei, he was explaining about the emotional, the Kansei, the emotional engineering, emotional design. So the consumer react by emotions, and we talked to the feelings. It was very common in the 70s, and it evolved in the 2000s. So I'm going to ask you, what do you think? Who looks better? Please answer. I hope this is your answer. Who looks better? Yes. But it's not what she feels. So she feels that her son is the most beautiful creature on earth. And this is where design decision is a duality between thinking and feeling. It's between theory and practice. So you want to think, but you also want to feel. So I'm going to finish with a project that I started under the drones. So the drones were in the sky. I was outside drawing in Dubai, and drawing all these shapes with the help of my assistant in the rain. And you could see here, I wish I had time. I don't have time. That I talked about the Kashida, but I missed a big part about my inspiration with the remmentai or remmen, which is the elongation, the vertical elongation in Japanese. And this to give you an idea about the size. So when you have the remmentai, the vertical, and the Kashida horizontal, we have 2D. You have it's like a grid, and there is freedom inside of this grid. And if I zoom in, you see that all the lines are as important or more important to what is between the line. Coming back to the concept of Ma. So from 2D to 3D, this is the painting. You could see here, all the paintings are having more depth, but not that much depth. And all the decisions, you know, come in my head intuitively. because of the Japanese and the Arabic script that I write. But to give you an idea, I wrote this in Chinese with acrylic, and I rotated it, which looks like, I don't know, my handwriting in English maybe, or this my signature in Arabic. So if you want to see, it doesn't look Japanese anymore, just with 90 or minus 90 degrees. And this is how, you know, the work, it's pretty much like kufi. It rotates, but it has the fluidity inside of it of Japanese calligraphy. So that is another example. Okay, and it's not only Arabic. It's this is a French song, for example. I wrote for Portuguese songs. And if you see here, zoom ins, just to give you an idea how it is. We're passing from typography to topography. It looks like, you see the valley here between the letters? So the letters, you know, become topographic. You could see the fluidity of it. I don't think they have questions. I talk about everything. So these are the letters here, the shapes, the zoom in, the noon with the noon in Arabic, and all this, you know, the grid and the fluidity inside of the grid. And if you look at it, you see that there is, okay, 3D, we talked about the 3D, but there is the fourth dimension, which is time, pretty much related to architecture. So when you are writing, you don't think anymore of what you wrote before, and then you anticipate the future, but this is pretty much like when you're working in architecture, you're discovering the space, you forget everything that is happening before you, or what you just lived. So these are, you know, pictures. I'm finishing. Convention, outcome, intuition, and exploration. I'm an educator. It's my 21st year of teaching. And for my students, I try to bring them all together. So, and then when they are all together feeling and thinking, I got to sing the Kinder Surprise, and then I could get inside of them and see what's the unicity in them. When I was in Japan, I asked Komata Sensei, I'm struggling with eating tofu. How can I eat tofu? And he told me, Tony, tofu, you should put enough pressure to hold it and not too much to squeeze it. It became my way of working and my teaching philosophy. So there's this tofu. And yeah, I'm only telling you. Sorry, huh?